back to the Diabetic Diet Show. Hi everyone. Today I'm going to make a real simple meal. This is going to be a chicken with a honey mustard sauce. It's not real complicated. There's just a few ingredients that we have to discuss. So we're going to start out with our ingredients and getting a pan going. I also have the stove preheating to 450 degrees. So I start with my pan here, fill it up with some water, about 3/4 of the way, full. Don't go too far, it'll boil over. You don't need a lot. Now, that'll be a while till it gets going. So, the ingredients. The ingredients are some collard greens or kale. Now, I'm more into collard greens than I am kale. I know these are probably more popular. We're going to need some roasted red peppers, pickle relish, some sour cream, Dijon mustard, honey, shallot, onion, some potatoes, apple cider vinegar, Panko breadcrumbs. Now, I've pre-measured out my Dijon mustard, and if you do this, it'll speed things up. I'll list the ingredients and the quantities below, or you can find them on my website. But these little plastic containers, you can buy them at any restaurant type store or probably the drugstore, and they really help you because you get everything all going ready in advance. There we go. That there. And I have to cut these peppers up, so I can't put those in yet. But I can put the sour cream in. And with the sour cream, I don't mind it to start to thaw a little bit. It makes it a little easier to stir. But the fun when cooking is to keep cold things cold and hot things hot. Like, for example, the honey. Make sure that if you have this thing in the refrigerator, you take it out and you let it thaw. And you know, also a good substitute for honey could be maple syrup. So if you have some pancake syrup around, you can substitute that for the honey. So now I have some ingredients that I need to cut up. Let's see, do a little mix there and get cutting on some things. Now, when cutting, especially an onion, you want to cut in the center, just like this, so that you have your roots on both sides. Then, because it's only me tonight, the girlfriend isn't here, I'm just going to take half of that shallot and I'll put the other part over there for another day. Now, here's the trick to cutting a shallot. One little slit right there in the side like that. And then you can roll the canopy right off. And I slipped like that. Good thing I had that knife far enough away. Look, I'm a retired firefighter. I'd have to put a Band-Aid on myself. There we go. The stove is ready to go. So I'll go ahead and get my chicken in a cookie sheet, and I'll get that going in there in just a minute. There we go, just like that. That's all we need, not a lot. See, this stuff is simple. Just put it in the mixing bowl like that. You can use a spoon to stir it up. You don't even need a fancy whisk if you don't want. But I got a whisk. It's a plastic one from the dollar store. I like the plastic, it doesn't scratch things. Look at that, that's looking really good. My water isn't boiling yet. I can't get these potatoes or kale in there. So I'm just going to set this aside for the next few minutes. And I better get going on these. Now, collard greens. All you want is the leaves. So just tear the leaves off the stalk like that and pitch them. Now, when I bring these home from the store, or if I have them delivered, I wash them right away when I get them. Looks like the water is boiling here, so I'm ready to put in these potatoes. So carefully open the lid towards you so the steam goes away from you. Take your potatoes, carefully drop them in the water, just like this. Okay, now you have to put some salt in the water. Don't use a lot of salt. I would use just about a little bit in my palm, just like that. And you also need some pepper, so I like fresh ground pepper. Just like that. Now, let's start with our collard greens. These are so easy. All you have to do with the collard greens is to take a piece of aluminum foil, and you put the collard greens in there just like that. Then you take some olive oil and you put olive oil on top of these, just like that. Make sure you put your lid back on your potatoes. Then I need some salt and pepper for this. Don't worry about how much pepper you use. You probably can't pepper too much. But once again, salt, be careful with the salt shaker. Put some in my hand. I sprinkle it from up high so I kind of evenly get it around. And I know people aren't real fond of salt, but you have to have it. The food tastes really bland if you don't have it. Now all you do is you just take and kind of flat fold this to make a packet out of it. Just like that. I just fold the edges. Then you just stab the center to put a vent. And then that's going to go on that. Now the potatoes are boiling, and these have to boil for about 17 minutes. Just like the chicken has to cook for about 17 to 20 minutes. So it takes a little while for this stuff to cook. Now I'm going to put a little bit of honey inside this mix. Stir this up real good. Looks good. As I set my timer for the 17 minutes, and now I've moved my chicken forward to my cookie sheet. And while you're cooking, keep an eye to make sure you keep things clean. This is just a universal squirt bottle that I bought from the grocery store, and I put a mix in it, 50-50 mix of bleach, dish soap, and the same amount of water. And you want to keep cleaning, especially when you're dealing with chicken. Of course, after I touched that a few minutes ago, I went and washed my hands again. So I've washed my hands a couple of times here in the last few minutes, and now I smell the bleach. So what we need to do with these is we need to put our mix on them and our Panko breadcrumbs, and then we're going to get them in the oven and get them cooking. So I have them dry. Now I'm going to bring the cookie sheet back. And the next step of this is going to be to spray this sheet. It'll make cleanup easier. So let's go ahead, spray just like that. And let's put these chicken breasts out here. Just like that. Now, what we want to do is to get some honey, put some honey on these, Pitch my gloves. And then I have back to my mix. Now, let's go with this. And let's spoon some of this on here, just a little bit. Like this. Now, I need my breadcrumbs. Here's my Panko breadcrumbs. Put a little bit on top like that. Turn them over. They're a little soggy right now. They'll firm up once we get cooking them. Okay, we can pitch these. This right on here. This is going to be good. It smells delicious already. There we go. Goes on there like that. Smear that around with a spoon. That all on there. Okay. Now, back to my breadcrumbs again. Deliver it for you. It's even easier yet. Let's throw these in the oven. I set the timer to 20 minutes. Now either way, I have to check it with a thermometer to make sure that it's good. And you should have a meat thermometer around, something like this, where you can check to make sure that it's at least 165. These have been baking for 20 minutes, and I want to check now the temperature to see what they're at. When the oven quit, I increased the time for another 10 minutes just so the oven will stay hot, just in case, because whether or not they're done depends on the size of the chicken and things like that. Now it is 161 and it's rising, so while that rises a little bit more, I'll go ahead and tell you what I did. Potatoes were done, so I turned off the water on the potatoes. I also took this little water bottle that I have here. I get these from the dollar store or a grocery store, and I put some water in it, and then I went in and I squirted it inside the slit of the collard greens so that they'll steam. Now I have that apple cider vinegar in here, and when I open them up, I'm going to spritz them with the apple cider vinegar. That'll make them taste really good. Now to keep these warm, I'm just going to go throw them back in the oven for a couple minutes. I left the door in the oven open so it could vent a little bit so they don't dry out. The potatoes are all done, so I have one more little thing to do. I just pour them here like this in the strainer. Then I put them back in the pan. Then I smash them. This is real easy because they're real soft. So I'm just using a take just a big heaping spoonful like that. When it comes to sour cream in my mashed potatoes, I love sour cream in my mashed potatoes. And then I'm going to let you in on my ultimate secret for the best mashed potatoes. My Mexican basil. You buy this at the store, it comes in a great big huge container of it. I guess it's pretty plentiful. But I'll tell you, when you make mashed potatoes and you put some of this in it, it changes it to the next level. It's really delicious. Then I need fresh ground black pepper. And I need some salt. This is my pink Himalayan salt. Add more later. And this meal is all done. All I have to do is plate it up. Thanks for watching. I'm really glad you stopped by today. And I look forward to seeing you next time. That's our show for today. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button and click the bell so when we drop a new video, you'll get notified. Goodbye for now.